What's up YouTube, Webbers5 here, coming at you with the deck profile of my Thunder Magicians that I played at London this weekend. So with the deck I played 6 rounds and I went 3-3. Interesting enough, every single one of my wins was against some variant of Danger. So, kind of weird, but anyway, let me get into the profile. Okay, so starting the deck off, play the standard stuff. So 3 Chrono, 1 Time Gazer, 3 Wisdom Eye, 3 Harmonizing, just like main standard staples of the deck. Main standard staples, not really much explanation needed with them. And another standard 2 Oath Dragon. Cut this back from 3 simply for the event. Probably going to edit my build back into being the pure variant afterwards. Then, decision I made for the competition, I cut these guys down. So I played 2 Purple Poison and 2 Black Fang. I felt this was a really good decision when I needed to make space for some other stuff I was trying out, and definitely was quite useful and definitely helped out in the end. So I was pretty good with that. My standard 1 Dissolver for my Vortex play, as well as other for my standard Vortex play and other fusion monsters that I play in my build. Caught a couple of players off guard that they didn't realize this. Then standard Mythical Beast package, 3 Cerberus, 2 Jackal, just as standard for the Electromite setup. I sided this engine out a fair number of times. I sided the engine out a fair number of times just because I was anticipating things like if I was siding out for going first, which I did a couple of times, I was anticipating things like Ash, and if that gets ashed, I'm going to be in a really bad position, and I didn't want to have that, so made it very easy side outs. Next, Darkworm engine, 3 Darkworm, 1 Gate 0. Again, standard. And this was covers all the Pendulums I'm playing. Then for the other monsters I was playing, for the event I decided to main deck 3 Ash, just because Ash is really good. I needed space in my side deck for some other stuff, so I decided to main deck Ash. Ended up putting my main deck to about 43 cards because I couldn't find a way to cut it down to 40. I think if I could have done something differently about this, I probably would have just played 2 Ash, because I did see this a little bit too much. Next, Double Apex Avian, because he's a big negating chicken. He's amazing. Love this guy. So good. So good. I kind of dislike the errata that they made on it, that it's now once per chain. For those who aren't sure what the errata of a once per chain means, it means even if you control multiple of the Apex Avian, you can still only do it once. So controlling multiple is no longer a massive advantage of it. But still came in handy every now and then. And then because I wanted to try something different with the deck to catch people a bit off guard, I played a Thunder Dragon engine. So the engine I went for were 3 Dragon Dark as the main card to try and get into the Colossus play, which was the purpose of the engine. Dragon Dark discards itself to add another copy of itself, and when it's banished or sent from field to grave, you can add a Thunder Dragon card. So I'll get into the main combo in a second. So it was 3 Dragon Dark, 1 Dragon Hawk, and then 2 copies of Gold Sarcophagus. So the essential combo is, if I see into the Gold Sarcophagus, I activate it, banish the Dragon Dark. Dragon Dark's effect adds the Dragon Hawk. Discard Dragon Hawk to special summon Dragon Dark, and then tribute the Dragon Dark to summon Colossus. Pretty easy. Or if I've opened the ability to Pendulum Summon and then extend my zones, I can just activate the effect of Dragon Dark before I Pendulum Summon, discard, add another copy, Pendulum Summon the second one, tribute that one off to summon Colossus. Originally my engine was going to be 3, 3, and 3, but through testing I found if I hit into this, it was kind of a brick. because I don't really want to see that. That's like the piece I want to search off of Dragon Dark. I don't really want to see it for any other purpose. So, cut it down, and it definitely helped. I also found this engine was another useful thing for siding out if I anticipated myself going second as well. If I anticipated myself going second, because the main purpose of this was to... The main purpose of the engine was to set up the Colossus if I was going first to try and stop my opponent from searching and just try and end the game quickly. But if I'm going second, then it's not particularly as good, and it definitely made a good decision when I was siding these out for going second. Though primarily I would only side out like 5 cards, because I found having the Gold Sarcophagus, if I was keeping the Mythical Beasts in, gives me another spell card to try and put a spell counter on the Jackal King. And then the next slot into my spells, 2 go with the Dark Wolf engine, 1 Foolish Burial, 2 Dragon Shrine, standard. Didn't think I needed more than that to put it in. Double Desires, just goes draw power, pretty useful. And then the last card I was playing my deck, one Super Poly, because I main Starving Venom Fusion Dragon in my extra deck because it's a generic that only requires 2 darks on the field. I was kind of impressed myself in the first two rounds I had in the comp in YCS. My first round was against Danger BA, and my second was against some dark hero Danger extra link thing deck. But it was really useful against those decks because when I went... So, I think in both of those games I went first for the first game and I just swept my opponent. Game 2 they went first, but because they were both dark-based decks, they essentially put 2 monsters on the field. By some miracle, I was able to open the Super Poly. So I was just like, okay, do my setup, and then I'm like, at the right moment, I'm like, battle phase, start a battle phase, Super Poly, fuse your 2 darks, make this, and then just smack them. Yeah, it was very useful for that. Okay, so that's it for the main deck. Extra deck I was playing, the standard, 1 Electromite, no explanation really. 1 Wee Witch's Apprentice, just as my 1 Wee Witch as the backup scale. I don't think I made this too frequently, but still just nice backup if I needed it. 1 Metaltron for the extender to extend my plays. I don't actually think I made this at all over the weekend. I think I was in the position to make it a few times, but I was like, that's kind of just going to cut my resources. I think I'd rather just stick to what am I doing. 1 Triple Burst. Play him as my way to out Sky Strikers to stop the Ray recurrence. Came in handy every now and then, which was useful. Didn't make it too frequently though. 1 Boral Sword, because Boral Sword just to try and get into the OTKs. That's it for the links. For the XZs I was playing 1 Dweller, really good against the BA matchup when I was going first that I had. And useful against, naturally, a couple other ducks. 1 Naruto, 1 Naruto for the negate, pretty useful. 1 Dark Rebellion, put that in to try and help, again, beat for games for an OTK if I wasn't in the position to get enough monsters to make Boral Sword. I also had 1 matchup against Sky Striker that I actually found myself using his second effect. For those who don't know what most people know that the main effect of Dark Rebellion is when it attacks, you can detach 1 to zero out the opponent's stats and gain them to naturally go for the big damage. His second effect is during the battle phase, you can tag him out into the extra deck to special summon 1 Supreme King Dragon or Supreme King Gate from your extra deck in defense mode. So I found that quite useful. And since it returns as cost, it outs quite a few things. So I found that quite useful when my opponent was trying to. So I found that quite useful when I tried attacking with it, and my Sky Striker opponent went, Widow Anchor, negate your monster's effect and steal. I'm just like, chain effect, tag out, But this rendered the Widow Anchor partially useless. Which is quite good. And Last XE's 1 Tornado Dragon, because generic back row removal. The Synchros I played, 1 Ignista, because he's just generic non-targeting removal. I found him really useful, very clutch in my first round match against BA. During my game 2, my opponent went a turn 1 Beatrice, so I set up my Electromite, So when I did my Electromite setup, I dropped a Chronograph and I dropped the Apex Avian with it to kind of prevent my opponent from responding to trying to do anything to the Electromite at that point. Then, continuing through into the turn, I did a Pendulum Summon of Harmonizing, got another monster on the field, and I also had a Jackal King, which had a spell counter, which had 2 spell counters on it, so it was just... And then I was just trying to think of a way to get rid of the Beatrice without having to worry about anything. I wasn't in the position to... Because the only level 4s I had access to were the Harmonizing and the monster I summoned off the Harmonizing. I realized I could make Dweller, but I'm not sure it's going to be... But then I still wouldn't have a monster that was strong enough to hit over the defense of the Beatrice. Well, not true. I had the Apex... Not true. I had the Apex Avian, but then I wouldn't have enough points for damage. And we were very close to we're getting a bit close to time at that point because my round 1 match, because the game 1 took a bit of a while, but I found it useful because I just went, I've got an idea, I'm gonna do this. So I synchroed into Ignista to try and naturally trying to bait the effect of the Beatrice to mill something first, which I did. I didn't do anything to negate it because I wanted to see what they were going to mill to see if that's the thing I need to negate. They decided to mill a Snow, Fairy Tale Snow. They didn't have many resources. So then after that I was just like, effective Ignista, target my scale, pop, spin the Beatrice away so it doesn't get its summon. Then I just basically started attacking, and since I had the Jackal King on the field with negate set, I stopped the one use of the Snow that they had, and they just smacked the game. And last synchro, 1 Supreme King Dragon Clearwing. I found that useful. I found that pretty useful against my second round match when I was against a Danger Link Dark Link deck thing. I don't really know what it was. It's like some 60 card Link Danger thing. So they set up a bunch of links, but they didn't set up a. So I found a way to drop a monster and get. So I was able to find a way to hit over the Cerberus, which they had co-linked, and then main phase 2 I synchroned into Clearwing and just wiped out the rest of their board. And then fusion monsters I'm playing, so one Colossus, just as a cheeky tech idea to stop searching, if I can get it off on the first turn to stop searching. 1 Starving Venom as my main thing for the super poly targets. I made this quite a few times, didn't really get his second effect off of the board wipe. My opponents were quite smart in just trying to get other ways around it, so. But it still was pretty useful for disrupting their plays and then attacking with it. 1 Gatling Ghoul, just for the burn. I think I may have made him once, I'm not sure if I made him, I don't recall. But still, I find him very useful. And then the last card of my extra deck, naturally the 1 Vortex, because negate. And then for the side deck that I had, I went for 2 Lancia, in case I was having a Thunder Dragon matchup as a way to stop them. 2 Bell for generic grave specific matchups like, you know, Goki, Thunder Dragons again. Please. 3 Ceravis for the Sky Striker. 3 Ceravis for the Sky Striker matchup. I didn't actually find a situation that it came up, or actually I saw it. I probably would have preferred to have cited Denko, but I decided to try out with Ceravis, but didn't quite work out. But it's all a learning experience, so it's fine. Two Twin Twisters, just in case I was against a back row heavy deck. Also, again, Sky Strikers. Gets around them there. Three red reboots, because generic trap outs. Yeah. And Altergeist. I had the issue when I did have a match against Altergeist. I sided these in game 2 after I lost the game 1. Didn't see any of them, and then I just got annihilated. And then the last card of my side deck was 3 Impermanents, just because great hand trap. Just an amazing hand trap, just an amazing hand trap. And good for going first and second. Okay, so that's the deck profile of what I used at London. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment in the descriptions of what you thought. And if you really enjoyed the video, naturally like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll hopefully see you again soon.